So in the previous class, we have already completed this chapter, okay, electricity. And I had told you that I'll be giving you questions and the solution for the chapters, okay, and the questions that I had given you. So at the end of the class, I'll give you the solutions, okay. At the end of the class, I'll be giving you the solutions, not now, okay. Okay, so questions also I'll be giving you that time only. Fine. Questions also I'll be giving you that time only. So let us start with the new topic now. Okay, which is magnetism, magnetic effect of moving charges. Okay, so moving charges and magnetism is the fourth chapter. Okay, moving charges and magnetism is the fourth chapter. Okay, now so we are going to study about the magnetism of, okay, magnetic property or the magnetic field. Like we have studied about, you have studied about the in electrostatics, what happens when a static charge is there. Okay, so whenever there was a static charge, so you have studied that there is a electric field, external electric field is there. Okay, so whenever you have a static charge, okay, so you had a electric field now. And when that charge is kept in the, when that charge is kept in the external electric field, so what happens? There is a force on the charge. Okay, there is a force on the charge. Fine. So now let us see. Now let us see what happens when this charge is moving actually. Okay, what happens when this charge actually moves? What will happen in that case? Okay. Now, so suppose for the first point, okay, what I can write here, that a static charge, okay, a static charge produces electric field only. A static charge, okay, produces electric field only. So that's the first point. Let's suppose if I have a charge, okay, this is a charge q, okay, which is at rest, which is at rest. Okay, so this will produce electric field. Okay, this will produce electric field like this. Fine, this will produce electric fields like this, radially outward. Okay, this is what we have studied. Now, if this charge, if this charge is kept in an external field, if this charge is kept in an external electric field, okay, so this is external electric field. Okay, so due to this external electric field, due to this external electric field, what will happen? There will be a force on this charge. So what will be the direction of the force? What will be the direction of the force? The force direction will be in this direction. Okay, so this is the direction of force. So force, what you can write? Q into E external. Okay, external. The force will be along the electric field for a positive charge. It will be opposite to the direction of electric field for the negative charge. Okay, so what you can write here, that a static charge produces only electric field in its surrounding. Okay, so a static charge can produce, okay, can produce only electric field. It can only produce electric field. Okay, now the second point what we can write is, what will happen if the charge is moving? A moving charge, okay, a moving charge can produce both electric as well as magnetic field in its surrounding. Okay, so a moving charge, okay, is capable of producing both magnetic, okay, and electric field. So this you have to understand that if you have a static charge, only electric field will be produced. Okay, only electric field will be produced. So static charge, okay, only electric field, only electric field. Okay, moving charge, okay, both magnetic and electric field. Okay, so if I'm having a static charge, it can only produce electric field. Okay, if you are having a moving charge, it can produce both electric as well as magnetic field. Now suppose if this is a charge, okay, like a positive charge, I'm assuming. Okay, this is a positive charge. So if it is kept in an external electric field, if it is kept in an external electric field, so it will have a force on it. It will have a force on it. Okay, this is a moving charge. Okay, let me remind you that this is a moving charge. Okay, it is having some velocity v, and this is external electric field. External electric field. Okay, now I also make a region where I'm having a external magnetic field. Okay, so magnetic field is represented by B. Okay, magnetic field is represented by vector B. Okay, it is represented by the vector B. Fine. So like this electric field was there. Okay, if I'm having an electric field, okay, and I keep a charge like this, if I keep a charge like this, so what will happen to it? It will experience a force due to electric field. And if there is a magnetic field also, then there will be also a force due to magnetic field. Okay, so now you are having a force due to two fields. Now you are having a force due to two fields, one due to electric field and another one due to external field. So that point also I'm writing that now we have, now if moving charge is there, so now if moving charge is subjected to both fields means what? Electric field and magnetic field. Okay, both fields means what? Electric field as well as magnetic field. So now if moving charge is subjected to both electric and magnetic field, so it will experience electro it will experience force due to electric field as well as magnetic field. It will experience force due to electric field as well as magnetic field. Okay, do you have any doubt? Okay, fine. Now after this, okay, let us see that what will be the force. Okay, what will be the force? Like if there is an external electric field, if there is an external electric field, and if there is a charge, so we all know that what will be the force. So it will be Q into E. Okay, Q into E will be the force. This force you will write if there is a external electric field in which you have a charge vector. But what will be the magnetic force? Okay, so force on a moving charge present in the magnetic field. Okay, so now what we are going to study is, okay, these 2 points you have to remember. That first point, that when you have a static charge, only electric field is there. When you have a moving charge, so you have both electric as well as magnetic field. Okay, now the next is force on a moving charge. Okay, force on a moving charge in the magnetic field, external magnetic field. in the external magnetic field. Okay, in the external magnetic field. Okay, now how do we give this force? How do we give this force? So the force experienced, okay, like you have studied in Coulomb's law, like you have studied in the Coulomb's law. So here also the force experienced, so F, okay, is directly proportional to the value of electronic charge, okay, the charge value Q. Force is also directly proportional to the velocity of the charge V, okay, understood? Force is also directly proportional. Force is directly proportional to the magnetic field. Okay. It is also directly proportional to the magnetic field. Understood? Now, if I combine it, if I combine it, okay. So what I will be writing it as, I will be writing it as F is equals to QVB. Okay. I'll be writing it as QVB. Now, this force is a vector quantity. Force is a vector quantity. So you should be having a cross product here. Okay, you should be having a cross product here. Now, charge is a scalar quantity. Q cannot be our vector. So there should be a cross product between V and B. Okay, there should be a cross product between V and B. So when you combine all these three, F directly proportional to Q, F directly proportional to velocity of the charge, F directly proportional to the magnetic field, B. Okay. So B is the magnetic field here. Okay. So when you combine this, so what you get? F is equals to Q within bracket V cross B. V is the velocity vector, B is the magnetic field vector. Okay. And when you write this in scalar form, okay, or when you remove this cross product, so you will be having F is equals to QVB sine theta. QVB sine theta. Now, theta is the angle between velocity vector and magnetic field. Okay. So, theta is angle between V vector and B vector. Okay. So, I guess all of you understand this thing. Okay. So, this is an important point. Okay. That magnetic force is given as F is equals to QVB sine theta, where theta is the angle between the velocity vector and the magnetic field vector, where theta is the angle between velocity vector and the magnetic field vector. Now, after this, okay, let us find out the different values of forces. Okay, let us find out the different values of the forces. Okay, now I'm just taking few examples. Okay, few random cases I'll be saying. Okay, and then let us analyze what will be the direction. Okay, so one, you can do it by cross product. Okay, if I give you the value of direction of B and direction of B, so one you can do by the cross product. Okay, I, J, K, like that. Okay, so I'm writing that also over here. So it is I, J, and K. So I guess all of you know this thing. Okay, all of you know this thing. So if the velocity vector and B vector is given, so you can do it like this and tell the direction of the force. Okay, so you all know all these things. Now, let me tell you one thing, that suppose if theta is 0 degree, if theta is 0 degree, this means what does this means? This means that if the externally applied magnetic field, is in this direction, okay, this is the direction of externally applied magnetic field. Okay, and this is the only direction of velocity. A charge is there, it is also moving in this direction. They both are moving in the same direction. Yes, they both are moving in the same direction. The vector is in the same direction. So what will be the value of force now? What will be the value of force now? So you will be writing it as QVB. Okay, you will be writing it as QVB sine 0. Okay, correct. You'll be writing it as QVB sine 0. This means force is equals to 0. So magnetic force, okay, force due to magnetic field will be 0 here. So what will happen to the particle? Yes, what will happen to this charge? What will happen to this charge? If the force is 0, so there is no direction out here. So that means the magnetic field becomes 0 if the charge is moving in the same direction to that of magnetic field. Okay, so this is what we are trying to see here. That what was the magnetic force value? QVB sine theta. Now, external magnetic field and the velocity vector, they both are in the same direction. So theta value becomes 0. So magnetic force becomes 0, and this means there is no net force on the charge. Okay, so this implies no net force on the charge. Okay, and if there is no net force on the charge, okay, due to magnetic field, better be right. Okay, also if v is uniform, okay, v is uniform means it is constant. So particle will keep on moving in a straight line. Particle moves in a straight line. Particle keeps on moving with v velocity, okay, in straight line. Okay, so just see this. Okay, when magnetic field and charge, they both are in the same direction. Okay, what will happen to the magnetic force? Magnetic force becomes 0, and if magnetic force is 0, this means what does this means? This means that there is no net force on the charge. There is no net force on the charge due to magnetic field. Now if only this velocity is uniform, so particle will keep on moving with v velocity in a straight line. There will be no any deviation. There will be no deviation in the particle. Okay, there will be no change in the direction of the particle. Understood? Because the net force is 0. Okay, now after this, now I'm changing the angle. Now I'm changing the angle. So now I'm keeping the angle as 90 degree. Okay, now I'm keeping the angle as 90 degree, and then let us see what will happen. So if theta is 90 degree, so let us see what is going to happen. So if theta is 90 degree, so this means, just see here, this is the direction of magnetic field, which means this is the direction of magnetic field. Okay, this is the direction of magnetic field. Okay, this is the direction of magnetic field now. Okay, and this particle enters like this. Particle enters in this field in this direction. Okay, velocity is in this direction, magnetic field is in this direction. Okay, so it is along the x and y axis. So x axis is magnetic field, y axis we have taken velocity vector. Understood? So this is along y j cap. This is along I cap. Okay, this is along I cap. Fine. Now, what will happen to this charge now? What will happen to this charge now? What will happen to this charge now? When this particle is moving, so there will be a force now. Okay, there will be a force now on this charge, which will be along what direction? Let us find out that. So it is I and J, because we are doing V cross B, na? V cross B. So J cross I. So J cross I will give you what? J cross I gives us minus K. Understood? So this particle goes in the minus K direction, means inside the plane. Okay, I'll take the another example for better visualization. Okay, for better visualization, I'll take another example. So suppose this is example number 1. With example number 2, it will be much clear. I'll try to rotate the direction. I'll try to show the direction in this plane only. Okay, on the plane of the screen. So all of you understand, I assume that all of you understand with this the meaning of this symbol. I assume that all of you understand the meaning of the symbol. Okay, when I write this is the direction of magnetic field, this means what? This means the angle, this magnetic field is going inside. This means that the magnetic field is going inside. Okay, this means that the magnetic field is going inside. Fine. Okay, now okay, so now if the particle is in the perpendicular direction to it, now the particle is suppose in the perpendicular direction to it. Okay, so let us assume that the particle is moving in this direction. Okay, a particle is there that enters like this. This is the particle. This enters like this. V plus. Okay. Now what are the directions? Now what are the directions? Yes. How this particle will move? How this particle will move? Yes. Just see here. I cross. Okay. Minus K. I cross minus K will be the direction. Okay. I cross minus K. I cross minus K. Okay. Now what will happen here? What will happen here? It will be minus of minus J. Okay. Minus of minus J. This means J cap. This means J cap. Now just see here. Just see here. Be attentive. Your magnetic field is going inside the screen. Okay. You just see the screen. Okay. It is going inside the screen. Okay. It is going inside the screen. It is like this. This is like this. Okay. Inside the screen. Okay. Magnetic field. And you have a charge. You have a charge. Okay. This is the charge. Okay. Which is along the x-axis now. Which is along the x-axis now. Okay. Now, this is the direction of its velocity. Okay. So velocity is along positive x-axis. So I cap. Magnetic field is along minus K cap. Magnetic field is along the minus K cap. Now I cross K is minus J, and already you are having a minus sign, so it becomes J cap. So this means what is the direction of force? What is the direction of force? Is it in the J direction? Yes. The direction of the force on this on this charge will be along the y axis, positive y axis. So what will happen? What will happen to this? A force will act in this direction. A force will act in this direction. So if the force is acting in this direction, okay, if the force is acting in this direction, so what will happen to this charge now? What will happen to this charge now? Yes, will this velocity change its direction? Will this velocity change its direction? And this will become in this way, somewhat in this way. Okay, somewhat in this way. Correct? It will become somewhat in this way. Okay. Do you understand this? Now what will happen? The velocity will change in this direction. Okay. Now again what will happen? Again there will be a velocity vector in this direction. Again you have a velocity vector in this direction. Okay. Now again if you apply the same thing, so what will happen? Again you will have a magnetic force in this direction. Again you will have a magnetic force in this direction. So again what will happen? Again what will happen? This velocity will change its direction. Okay. Now it will become like this. Then again there will be a force like this. Then again it will change its direction like this. Then again you will have a force like this. So what will happen? It will keep on moving like this. It will keep on moving like this. Okay. It will keep on moving like this. Okay. So what is happening actually here, that this particle is trying to rotate. This particle is trying to rotate. Okay. When a particle enters at 90° in the magnetic field, so what happens? There is a circular motion. Okay. What is that? That there is a circular motion. Understood? The particle undergoes a circular motion. So you have to remember that also, that if particle enters at 90°, if the particle enters at 90° to magnetic field, okay, then it rotates or moves, or it does circular motion. Okay, it undergoes a circular motion. Understood? It undergoes a circular motion now. Fine. Now if you are having a problem, that how actually this direction is coming and all, so let me tell you one more rule. Okay, here itself, because here I have tried to tell you this one was not required in this case. Here it was I and j cap. Okay, you have studied that already, so I told you that thing with I, j, k cap. Now let us see one more rule. With that, this complete thing will be more clear to you. Okay, this complete thing will be more clear to you. So let me tell you how to determine the direction first. Okay, in this, because most of you will be not able to visualize that, yes, how is it actually turning? How is it actually turning? Most of you will not be able to visualize this. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the how to determine the direction of how to determine the direction of force. Okay, how to determine the direction of force. Okay, so just see here, we are going to use the Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, we are going to use Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, I'm going to use the Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, now in Fleming's left hand rule, what do we have is, if middle finger, okay, if middle finger, okay, if middle finger is pointed towards velocity, okay, this you have to keep along velocity. Okay, index finger, okay, index finger you have to keep towards magnetic field. Okay, you have to keep it towards magnetic field. Then okay, then your thumb, okay, then your thumb will point towards direction of force. Okay, it will give you the direction of force. Okay, then this will give you the direction of force. Okay, understood? So the same example I'm taking, okay, what we had taken here. So this was a positive charge. Okay, this was a positive charge. Sorry, not positive charge. This was the direction of the magnetic field. Going inside. It was going inside. Okay, and this was the direction of velocity. This was the direction of velocity. Okay, everybody understood this? This is the direction of magnetic field. This is the direction of magnetic field. This is the direction of velocity vector. Now, just all of you just hold your fingers, okay, of left hand, Fleming's left hand, like left hand, okay. Just stretch your all the three fingers, thumb, index finger, and middle finger, okay. Do that, okay. Now, just keep the index finger, just keep your index finger, okay, pointing in the direction of magnetic field. Just keep your index finger, pointing in the direction of magnetic field. Okay. Then you will see that the middle finger by default is pointing towards the velocity. Yes or no? This middle finger by default, it is pointing towards the velocity here. Understood? Yes or no? Okay. Now, where is the thumb now? Where is your thumb now? Is this thumb pointing towards the y-axis or towards the upper side? Yes or no? Is it pointing towards the upper side? Yes. Okay. So that is the direction of force. That is the direction of force. Okay. That is the direction of force now. So the force direction is this. So now what will happen? A particle is there which is trying to move in this direction, but you apply a force like this. So what will happen? This will move. This will make a turn like this. Okay. This makes a turn like this. Okay. Now again you do the same thing. Keep your index finger in the magnetic field only, along the direction of magnetic field only. Okay. And again you will see that your middle finger, okay, try to align that middle finger along this line. Try to align your middle finger along this line. Okay. Try to align your middle finger along this line. So what you will find that the thumb points in this direction. Thumb will point in this direction. Okay. So now if the force is in this direction, so what will happen to this velocity? It will move in this direction. Okay. Now again you do the same thing. What will happen? Force will be in this direction. So what is happening here? It is trying to move in a circular path. Okay. It is trying to move in a circular path. Okay. So if it is moving in a circular path, okay, fine. So what will be the magnetic force value? Yes, magnetic force will be given as F is equals to QVB. Okay, it will be given as QVB. Understood? And because it is moving in a circular path, so what will happen? This force will be only equal to centripetal force. Okay, this force will be only equal to the centripetal force, because this is the only force which is responsible for the velocity to the circular velocity of the particle, centripetal force. Okay, this is the only force that is responsible for moving it. Okay, now just see here, in this case there was force is equals to 0. There was no net force here. So change in velocity will never happen. Change in velocity due to this magnetic field will never happen. Okay. Now let us see in this case. In this case, what I can say, that because there is a magnetic field perpendicular to the velocity, okay, you have a force which is perpendicular to the direction of motion. Yes or no? The force is in the perpendicular direction of motion, so there is no work done. Okay, so here I can say work done by magnetic field, okay, will be zero. Okay, this implies magnetic field, okay, or magnetic force, okay, which is due to magnetic field, will never change the velocity, okay. It will never change the velocity of the particle. Understood? It is not going to change the velocity of the particle. Fine. Now, after this, when we have calculated this magnetic force, which is equals to QVB, and we are saying that the particle will move in the circular direction. The particle moves in the circular direction. So we have to do some analysis here. Okay, we are going to do some analysis here, that suppose this particle will move in this circular path. Okay, this path, suppose it of r radius. Okay, mass of the charge is m, positive charge we have taken, and it is having a velocity like this. Okay, it will have a velocity like this. Okay, and the force will be in the along the radial direction. The force will be along the radial direction. Okay, the force will be along the radial direction. Okay, so this will be the direction of magnetic force. This will be the direction of magnetic force. Okay, then only this particle is moved. Okay, now can I say here that the charged body is moving in a circular path of radius r? Okay, the charged particle is moving in a circular path of radius r. So what I can write here is that magnetic force is equals to centripetal force, because it is moving in a circular path. Okay, because it is moving in a circular path, so I can write that magnetic force is equals to centripetal force. Now, what is the value of magnitude of magnetic force? It is QVB. Sin theta is 1. Sin theta becomes 1. Okay. What is centripetal force? mv square by r. mv square by r. Now, from here, I can calculate velocity value. So, velocity will be equal to Q this, and this gets cancelled. So, velocity value will be QBR by m. Okay, this is our first equation. Velocity value will be QBR by m. Do you understand this? It will be depending upon QBR by m. So whatever the particle be, okay, its velocity, with what velocity it is moving. So you can find out like that. So it will be QBR by m. Okay. Now here in this, Q by m. Okay, Q by m is an important term here. Q by m. Okay, so Q by m. Okay, you would have studied in electrostatics also that Q by m is nothing but a specific charge value. Okay, this is a specific charge. Okay, Q by m is a specific charge. Okay, now because this is moving in a circular path, so we have to calculate related terms. Okay, we have to calculate time period, we have to calculate frequency, linear frequency, we have to calculate angular frequency, all those things. So let us do a little mathematics here. Okay, so we know that v is equals to r omega. We know that v is equals to r omega. Now v value we have already calculated. From equation 1. So we are going to just substitute it here. So what we will have, so from equation 1. Okay, so I'm substituting the value of v over here. So I'll be having QBR by m is equals to r omega. This implies omega value will become QB by m. Okay, this is our second equation. The value of omega we have got. Okay, So this was the value of velocity. This was the value of velocity. This is the value of omega. This is for the value of linear angular omega. Okay, angular frequency. Now we also know that okay, that how I can give you the time period. Okay, time period. Okay, so what will be the time period t? How will you write time period t? So it will be 2 pi by omega. 2 pi by omega. Okay. Now omega value we have already calculated. So from equation 2, okay, from equation 2, okay, just substitute the omega value. So time period will become 2 pi by omega. Omega value is what? QB by M. So this is the time period value. Okay, this is time period. So this is equation number 3. And if time period you have calculated, if you have calculated time period, so you can calculate the linear frequency. Okay, linear frequency mu. So how will you give this? This is 1 by t, and this will become qb by 2 pi m. This is equation number 4. Okay, this is equation number 4. Fine. So these are the terms that will be asked to you. These are the few terms that will be asked to you regarding this portion. Okay, that if the particle is entering perpendicular to the magnetic field, so what will happen? So if the particle is entering perpendicular to the magnetic field, then what will happen? The particle will try to move in a circular path. The particle will try to move in a circular path. Okay, if it is moving in a circular path, so few quantities I can calculate. So I can calculate its velocity. Okay, then I can calculate its angular frequency. I can calculate its angular frequency. Also I can calculate its time period. And I can calculate its linear frequency. Understood? So all these things will be very important. All these things will be very important for us. Okay, understood? Now let me take one simple illustration here. Okay, a very small illustration, that suppose if I'm having three particles. Okay, I'm having three particles. Okay, and now if I ask you, okay, and if I ask you that suppose I have an arc like this. Okay, this way, then this way. Okay, wait, one arc is like this, one arc is like this, and one arc is like this. Okay, so this is v1, v2, and v3. This is the arc now. Okay, now you tell me that in which case the magnetic force will be greater. In which case the magnetic force will be greater. Just try to visualize. In which case the magnetic force will be greater. Yes, in which case the magnetic force will be greater. See, with arc only we can tell that. With the arc only we will be able to tell that. Okay, in this case, if the arc is small, okay, if the arc is small, then I can say that if the arc is small, then I can say that the force will be more. Okay, so here f3 will be greater than f2 will be greater than f1. Understood? This will what this is what will happen now. Okay, similarly if I tell that this is one circle, a particle is doing a circle like this. Okay, then the same particle is like this, and then like this. Okay, then like this. Okay, This is F3 now. So what I can say about F1, F2 and F3? What I can say that F3 will be greatest, then F2, and the least one will be F1. Understood? So this is what you have to understand. This is what you have to understand. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to calculate. I'm going to calculate. Okay, the value of kinetic energy here, because you have calculated time period. You have calculated everything, so we can calculate the kinetic energy also. Okay, we can calculate the kinetic energy also. Okay, now what will be the kinetic energy now? What will be the kinetic energy now? Let us see what will be the kinetic energy now. So how will you write kinetic energy? Yes, this also they can ask us. Okay, so it will be half mv square. So half mass and velocity. What is the velocity that you have found out? Just see here. It you have found out as q by m into br. Q by m into br. Okay. So q by m into br is square of this. Okay. So when you solve this, what you will get? 1 by 2m. Okay. Q is square, b square, r square. So this is the kinetic energy value. So let us assume this as equation number 5. Let us assume this as equation number 5. Understood? Let us assume this as equation number 5. Now I guess nobody is having any doubt. I guess nobody is having any doubt now. Okay. Okay. So now you just take down the uh, screenshots. Okay. You just take down the screenshots, and now after this, okay, I'll be giving you one or two numerical on this. Okay, and then try to just do it. Okay, using the vector. Okay, using the vector. Okay, addition and all, you just try to do this. Okay, so one question I'm giving you here. Okay, a very small question. If the charge value is given as, okay, 2 microcoulombs. If the charge value is given as 2 microcoulomb, velocity is given as 7 I cap plus 3 j cap meters per second. Okay, and the force, magnetic force I'm talking of. Okay, I'm talking of magnetic force value. So magnetic force value is 5I minus a j cap. Okay, Newton. Find the value of c. Find the value of a. Okay, find the value of a. So just try out this question. Just try out this question. Okay, you have been given with the charge value. You have been given with the velocity value. Okay, just find out the value of force is also given you to you. Just find out the value of a. Okay, now do one thing. Now just take the screenshot of this thing, and then I'll give you the questions. Okay, I'll give you the questions regarding current electricity. Okay, this is the first slide. Do it fast. This is the second slide. Third slide. This is the last slide. Okay, just note down these questions, okay, as homework. Note down these questions as an homework. I'll try to give you daily few questions, okay. I don't know like how far I can give, but I'll try my best to give you every day few questions, okay, on one like previous chapter and the current chapter. Okay, done. Then for the questions that I had given you as a homework, okay, for the questions I had given you homework, just take down the solutions. Or do one thing, tomorrow I'll give you the solution. Solution I have done, okay. Tomorrow I'll give you the solutions, okay. Solution I have done, but tomorrow you take it, okay. I'm having a class right now, okay. So better you take the solutions tomorrow, okay. I'll give you the solutions tomorrow. Okay. For the first day, if you remember, 20 questions, some 20 questions I had given you. So those solutions I'll be giving you tomorrow. Okay. I've done. So next tomorrow you take the solutions. Okay. Thank you.